What's up, guys? CryptoSavy here. Hope everyone's having a wonderful weekend. Could we be looking for a weekend breakout? We're going to take a look at that. We're going to take a look at Bitcoin, Litecoin, and Ethereum. So make sure you stick around, check it out, and don't forget we have a free Discord group in the description below the video. There is a link to it. Definitely check it out. It's totally free, guys. Awesome community, and let's get on with the video. All right, guys, as always, I want to remind you I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice, and there is a disclaimer scrolling on the bottom. This is not trading advice nor investment advice either, and remember, always, this is my opinion, not yours. Let's look at the news headlines just to get a feel for the sentiment. This one's been up here for a while. Bitcoin's price steady over 9,000 as sentiment stays positive. Major Bitcoin exchange, local Bitcoins, is in big trouble. Bitcoin's momentum remains strong as it faces resistance. Chinese scam plus token is moving 117 million in Bitcoin. Bitcoin price analysis, BTC trading is at a tight range. How the Bitcoin market changed since 2017, blah, blah, blah. So kind of mixed signals in there. Let's look at the fear and greed index. We're at 38. We dropped 1 point from yesterday, still in the fear. Bitfinex, BitMEX, and Binance, longs versus shorts. The longs are 64.43%. The shorts are 35.57%. And this is always kind of skewed because Bitfinex's longs are so high. So let's look at the monthly. On the monthly, we have still looking at this 92. If we break that 92 and get support above there, we could be in good shape for a nice little rally this weekend. And as you can see, right here, the volume is declining big time on the monthly, so keep that in mind. Let's look at the weekly. So on the weekly, we have been watching this, and I had said there is a possibility this week. Now, it's getting less and less likely, but we could see a run all the way up to 11.1 to 11.3 this weekend. It is a possibility, guys. It's looking less and less likely. That would be the golden pocket zone between the 0.65 and the 0.618, and I'll show you why I'm looking at it that way. If we take a look at the swing high, which was our all-time high over here, and bring it to the swing low of 2019, which was right here around the 3150, and we look at that golden pocket zone, that's where we ran up to last year perfectly and got rejection. If we were to do the same thing, go to the swing high of last year and up to the swing low, that gets us right to that golden pocket zone again, and that would be around the 11.1 to 11.3. Keep in mind that's a good I don't want to say a good possibility, but it's definitely possible that we get a run up here. I know a lot of people think that's very unlikely. I'm starting to think it's unlikely, but I don't want to discount it. And if you look at this orange channel, falling channel here, we had broke back down, and now we are getting resistance on it again right now. If that breaks up, it could bring in a bunch of traders and push this thing up. But even so, I do see a rejection here if we get up into that area. But keep in mind, as I've been saying, once we break this white trend line up here on top, we will be full bull. But I do believe, guys, we still have a good, very good possibility of seeing a sub 8K Bitcoin. And we'll talk about that. And that's by this year. Same thing here. You can see the volume is declining in the weekly. It looks like we are about to have a massive move sometime in the near future. Let's look at the RSI. And the RSI, same thing. I have the same trend lines drawn in here. Do we come back down and test this one more time before continuing up and breaking here? Or do we have our run up, test this, come back down for one more touch, and then off to the races? And as you can see, I have it marked as a ABCDE triangle. This being A, B, C, D if we got up to this range, although we could have already hit D and coming down for E. But I do believe sometime in this area here between April and May, right around the halving time, I believe we'll see our bottom and then continue up. That's my opinion. Now let's look at the daily and kind of, we'll go down to the 4 hour and kind of look at the targets, and then we will move on to Litecoin and then Ethereum. So where we're at right now, as you can see, our EMAs are all tightening up. We are getting resistance at the 21 EMA here. I do believe we're most likely going to see at least another little push up before downward. But if we do go down, I expect major support around the 89.65, which we were looking at this as an inverse head and shoulders down here. And we'll zoom in and look at that. But let's take a look at the RSI. So the RSI, we had this orange falling channel, broke out of it here. And inside this rising blue channel, broke out of it, came back down, broke back into this orange triangle, kind of like bear trap, and broke back above. And let's see if we get support here. If we break this again, we're most likely headed down to this area, which, remember, this is on the daily, guys, and that could be all the way down to the 84, 86, possibly lower. I do want to show you a very bearish case scenario. There's no guarantees here, guys, but if we do break this trend line right here on the bottom on this rising broadening wedge here, I do have a measured move depending on where we break down, but it will end up the same no matter where we would break down. The very bearish case scenario, guys, is the measured move off of that, and that would get us down to the 53 to 5400 range. And if we zoom out, that is the 0.786 retracement. Let's show you, zoom in a little bit of this. Well, actually, gonna have to move that a little bit. I don't know how that got moved. I must have moved it while I was looking at it on the phone. But anyways, as you can see, that would be the Fibonacci retracement, 0.786. That's the worst case scenario, guys, in my opinion, and that would come down to test this trend line right here. And again, that could be, you know, a huge sell-off if it was to happen. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but I want everybody to be aware of it, because it is definitely a possibility. But as of right now, let's go into the 4 hour and see what I'm looking at here. As you guys know, especially if you've been watching the channel, I have this trend line drawn on the bottom off of these 3 wicks. I cloned it and I put one on this wick, one on this wick, and one over on this wick. And if we zoom in, keep those trend lines in your mind. We had talked about them being support and resistance on the way up, which they were. As you can see, every time we touched them, they are significant. Same thing on the way down. We got some support here, broke through. Support here, broke through, broke back up, and played on this center line just like we did over here. But as of right now, what I'm looking at, guys, is a possible excuse me, big move for this weekend. And if we look at, let me get all these tools out of the way for a minute. We look at the volume and it's declining almost to nothing here. I do think we are going to see a nice breakout. My opinion, it's going to be to the upside, but there is no guarantees, obviously. Let's look at what's going on here. So we've had our 8, our 13, and our 21 EMA cross our 55 down here. We are getting resistance on the 200 EMA on the 4 hour. We've had this target here of 94 or 92.50, and that was a measured move of, if you look here, I have this white falling channel, and we broke above it, getting it to there. That is the right around the, actually it's a little bit lower than that, right around the 92.40. I do think if we get up here, we need to watch this area. We may get a rejection, come back down. But as you can see in the blue here, I have this triangle drawn in here. Now, looking at this triangle, if we were to do a measured move of just the triangle itself, if we are to break the 91.90 area, the target of that is around the 93, right around the 93.70, somewhere in that range, 93.75. So that's a good target here. Let me put a channel in there for the target, and I should have had this done, but I didn't. If you guys are interested in trading too, I'm going to leave a Bybit tutorial up top. Definitely check it out if you're interested in trading. It does have a bonus. There's also some more links down below. There's a Prime XBT, which if you make a deposit, you get a 35% bonus on top of it put into your account. And there's a Femex one down there that also gives you a bonus. Check those out. Depends on what kind of trading you're doing, which kind of exchange you want to use. But using my links down below for all of them, you get some kind of bonus. There's promo codes for 25% off fees on PrimeX also if you use CryptoSavy25. So anyways, back to what we're looking at. Oh yeah, guys, you guys did an awesome job doing the thumbs up. I got way more views when you guys give a lot of thumbs up. We hit a little over 400. Let's try for 500 this video, and leave your comments down below. That gets you entered to win a free t-shirt on Sunday. I do a random comment pick from a random video throughout the week, so that's tomorrow. By leaving a comment, get you entered to win. All right, so let's take a look at some more measured moves here. If we measure this as a flagpole, this being a bull flag, the measured move off of that is going to be right around this 9550 to 9600, which is also, if we come out here, the 0.386 retracement on this move. So that is that's a good possibility we get up to here at the 9553 to 9600. I also have a $9,700 possibility target because I've drawn this off of these two wicks, this trend line here, and this is a falling broadening channel, which could be bullish if we break up through this, guys. Keep that in mind. If we break up through the 97, we could come up to test that 10.5 again, or, you know, blow through that and go to our 11.1 to 11.2. So make sure you keep these possibilities in mind. Now we'll take a look at the bearish case. If we are to break down past the 9,060 range, I would be looking for a bounce around the 8960, which is an inverse head and shoulders I've been watching here that we broke out of. We could come back down, test that neckline before continuing up. If this next neckline breaks, then we would be looking at this pink trend line right here, which is this rising broadening wedge. This bottom trend line is drawn off the two wicks here. We did wick through it on the 4 hour. We did not on the daily, but on the 4 hour we wicked through it. We did not close below it. But wicking through that, I think that shows some weakness in it. So we could see those lower lows, but I do think we're going to move up first. So, yeah, anyway, if we were to break down from here and we use the triangle measured move, that would get us right down to the 8863 area. I'll put a target over here just to have that on there. I'll put it on this trend line right in that area. So that would be the measured move of the triangle breaking down. Now, if this ended up being a BART pattern, we could look at it like this and could go all the way back down to test this pink trend line. And remember, if that breaks again, I think we're in trouble. And that'd be around the 8660 range. And then we do have support here at the 8483, which is the 0.5 fib retracement. And then don't forget, we have, if this all breaks, we have the $8,000 range, and then the measured move of the whole big move here. The 0.618 is around the 72 to 7300. I would expect support there. Now if we get a bounce here, that will line up with my inverse head and shoulders on the bigger picture. If that's to break, then we start looking at that 53 to 5400 range. Let me go over to, this is what I'm talking about on the inverse head and shoulders. And if you look here, we had a falling channel drawn in here, which we did bounce down, tag it, got support, and we could be, zoom in a little bit, making an inverse head and shoulders here in the RSI, which would get us back up into this range. If we come up and tag this, that'll be the big run I'm talking about. But anyways, the 10.5, we had talked about this all the way back in January, the end of January. This being, we were back in here, and I had said it was pure speculation just to watch for it. We may have inverse head and shoulders here, which does look like it. I would expect us to come down to at least the $8,000 range for this left shoulder. And that's not to say we don't go up first, guys. We have plenty of room to come up first before coming down. And then the lowest I see us is at the 0.786 of this move, which would be the 73. If we drop below the 72, 7300, I think that'll invalidate this. So keep that in mind. But if we were to come down, get a bounce off the 72 to 7300, the measured move of the break of 10.5 after that's around the 14,650 range. So just something to keep in mind there, guys. Let's zoom in a little bit more into the 1 hour, and I'll show you the inverse head and shoulders on the 1 hour that we've been watching. This white line here was the neckline right around that 89.63 range. That's why I believe it is possible we come down and tag that before continuing up. If that breaks, then we start looking at these lower targets. But as of right now, I'm still leaning more bullish than bearish here, no matter what happens in this little area we're in right now. But this is the inverse head and shoulders I've been watching. Left shoulder, head, right shoulder, and both these shoulders are double shoulders here. So it does look still bullish in my opinion. Go to Litecoin, and Litecoin. Also, first I want to look at, as you can see, we are on my EMAs here really tight. If we look at the 4 hour, we're squeezed tight in the EMAs here also. But like I pointed out, they do look pretty damn bullish because they have all crossed. If we can keep support where we're at now, we should be in a good spot. Litecoin. So we were looking at this falling channel here. The measured move of that falling channel is measuring the width of the channel, putting it up to where we originally broke out of it. That gets us around the 71 to 72 dollar range right in here. We could come all the way up to retest the top of this falling wedge that we broke out of. I do want to give you the bearish case, even though I think we're most likely headed up to at least the 66 before rejection. If we take a measured move of this broadening wedge here, from right here where we broke down. Oh, actually, I already had a target. Sorry about that. Right here, if we took a measured move from where we broke down, put it down to here, that would get us back down to the $42 range, which I do have a major support and resistance line right here in blue, as you can see. So that would make sense. If we're going down to them lower lows in Bitcoin, I would see the 42.20 range for Litecoin. I know people don't like to hear that, but that is just what I'm looking at. And as you can see, by breaking out of this, the 200 EMA on the 4 hours around the 66.07, which is also the 0.382 fib. So we possibly get some rejection here. If we can't break through that, then we're looking back down towards the 60. And then if that breaks, 54. And that would line up with this big trend line here right around the 54, anywhere from the 53 to $54 range in this golden pocket area. So we could come back down to the golden pocket before continuing up. Keep that in mind. But yeah, as of right now, like I said, I think I'm still pretty bullish here. Let's zoom in, look at the EMAs real quick on Litecoin. We are getting supported by them all. We are turning over a little bit. The 8 had crossed the 55. It looks like it wants to come back down. I think we'll most likely get a nice push up here and keep that from crossing. And then we have our 13s next to cross 55 if we can continue up from here. So bullish on Litecoin also. Let's look at Ethereum. So on Ethereum, I have put from the swing high to the swing low, our 0.618, well, golden pocket area is around that 260 there. So between 258 and 262. We have broken out of this symmetrical triangle here, and I have a measured move of that to the 260 range. So I'm still bullish on Ethereum too, although we could get rejection at the 250 here, which is the 0.5 fib. If we do, then we could be coming all the way back down to the 223. If that doesn't hold, 203. If that doesn't hold, worst case scenario is around this 184 range. Although I do have a Fibonacci retracement from this swing low to this swing high, 0.786, which on Litecoin was 42.20 and on Bitcoin is 53 to 5400. It is 153 on Ethereum. So those are my worst case scenarios there, guys. Let's look at the RSI on Ethereum. We had this falling channel, which we've broken out of. So I do see us coming back up into this range again, bullish. So I am bullish on Bitcoin, Litecoin, and Ethereum as of right now in the short term. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to click the CryptoSavy logo above my head if you are interested in getting daily updates and being subscribed to the channel. It's totally free. Also, don't forget to give it a giant thumbs up. Leave your comments down below for your chance to win a free t-shirt, and share the video if you belong to any groups and that. It really helps grow the channel, and I appreciate it. I'm out.